That's not a dumb question at all. People obviously are very worried about climate change, and it would be nice if there was a silver bullet, one thing that we could do that would, fix it all right away. Unfortunately, that's not quite how this works. It's too big of a problem, essentially. Our entire society is more or less built around burning fossil fuels and using energy in such a way that we release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, which is the driver of climate change. While the silver bullet, I guess, could be stop emitting fossil fuels, that, of course, on its own is not really a solution. There are things, however, that, could make real big dents in the problem. China is the world's biggest emitter of greenhouse gases. They're also the world's most populous country, so that does sort of make sense. So if China took a lead in really decarbonizing, that would make a big difference. Now, they have committed to peak their emissions in the next few years, which means that they're going to stop rising their total emissions, which is, good. It's better that they peak than not peak, but we need emissions to be coming down immediately, and China's not there yet. But they're not the only ones that need to do something about this. The US remains the second largest emitter of greenhouse gases. In the US, the transportation sector is actually the biggest source of emissions, so switching things to electric vehicles is a big deal. So a lot of people think we should build out a ton of nuclear power. Nuclear power doesn't emit greenhouse gases, so it's a decent idea. Problem with that is it takes a really long time to build, and we don't really have that much time if we want to build out hundreds and hundreds of large nuclear plants. There's some industrial issues that if we could fix overnight would make a big dent. So for example, cement. There's a lot of cement made in the world, and it is used for building pretty much everything. And it actually emits a lot of carbon dioxide when you make cement, just based on the process. If we could somehow cut the CO2 from cement production in half, that would be something like 4% of all of the world's emissions gone overnight. So again, 4%, not a silver bullet, but it would make a big difference. Steel production is another one. So around the same amount. Fixing some of our agricultural practices would also make a really big difference. A lot of the emissions of the world actually come from raising livestock and from other parts of agriculture. And again, there's people working on some pretty clever ways to cut emissions from agriculture. And if we could really sort of make a dent in that, then that would again mean something like 5, 10, even more, 15%. So really, there is no one solution here. There's no one silver bullet like, oh, if we just do X, then it will be fine. But if we do, X and Y and A and B and C, then you'll start to add up to, an approximation of that silver bullet. All the little tiny bullets come together and you get one.